The AI community has just been on fire the last week or two with talk of this concept of artificial super intelligence, ASI. So this is a hypothetical form of AI that, unlike AGI, which can do many things better than humans, this would surpass human intelligence and capabilities in every single field imaginable. So kind of a bit of a sci-fi concept here, but something that people appear to be taking seriously. So first we got some commentary on X from Logan Kilpatrick, a prominent AI voice product lead at Google AI Studio, who said, quote, "Straight shot to ASI is looking more and more probable by the month. This is what Ilya saw," referring to former OpenAI chief scientist Ilya Sutskever. Kilpatrick then went on to refer to the efforts of Sutskever's new company, Safe Superintelligence, SSI, in their efforts to kind of go straight to building super intelligence rather than stepping stone products along the way. This was then followed in true, grandstanding fashion by a cryptic post on X from Sam Altman himself saying, quote, "I always wanted to write a 6-word story. Here it is, near the singularity, unclear which side," alluding to the fact that we are on the path to some type of grand super intelligence. So, Paul, I guess enough credible people are talking about this, seemingly believing we're heading towards possibly some path to ASI. Like, what is going on here? Like, how serious should we be taking this?
When I was getting ready for the episode, I had to keep reminding myself that this was a rapid fire topic. I was trying real hard not to go too deep here, but I think this is one of the ones where some perspective is very, very important. So I remember, back in 2023, which kind of sounds like I'm talking about a decade ago, but shortly after ChatGPT came out, and even before it, I avoided talking about AGI on LinkedIn. I post on LinkedIn, 4 or 5 times a week, and I was very conscious of not talking about it. And even on the podcast, I was hesitant to bring the topic in because I didn't feel like the world at large was ready for the conversation about AGI. And now here we are 12, 18 months later, and we're moving on to super intelligence. So I think, just to give a little perspective here, this isn't a new concept. I don't know who wrote the book Super Intelligence. There's a book on this. But if we go back just to September 2023, the DeepMind team wrote a report called Levels of AGI for Operationalizing Progress on the Path to AGI. So this was released in May of 2024, led by Shane Legg, one of the DeepMind co-founders, and who's also credited with coining AGI, the phrase, around 2002. So level 5 of theirs, and we'll put the link to this in, it's superhuman. So they rate the levels of AI based on performance, so how it performs versus humans, and then generality, how many cognitive tasks it can do at these different levels. So level 5 in their world is the highest level, and that is ASI, artificial super intelligence. Now, they define it as a system to be able to do a wide range of tasks at a level no human can match. So we define superhuman performance as outperforming 100% of humans. So level 4 is virtuoso, meaning they're at the 99th percentile. So pick any task, any job, and the AI at that level would be at the highest percentile of human capability. At super intelligence, we are now beyond any human, any scientist, any developer, any marketer, any entrepreneur, any CEO. It is beyond their capabilities. They can't match what the AI can do. So that was May of last year. Then in June of last year, episode 102, we talked about this, Mike. Leopold Aschenbrenner and his, what was the name of that series?
Situational awareness.
Situational awareness, a collection of papers. So in that, he said, we will have superintelligence in the true sense of the word by the end of the decade, and AGI by 2027 is strikingly plausible. It seems like almost everybody in AI, outside of Gary Marcus and Jan LeCun, it thinks AGI is definitely coming by 2027. I think most are starting to center more around 2025. And then there's one of the papers in there was From AGI to Superintelligence, the Intelligence Explosion. And he said, AI progress won't stop at human level. Hundreds of millions of AGIs could automate AI research, which, Mike, we're starting to see in the early forms of Google Deep Research, compressing a decade of algorithmic progress into 1 year, we would rapidly go from human level to vastly superhuman AI systems. The power and the peril of superintelligence would be dramatic. A week later, we had the launch of Ilya's Safe Superintelligence company, where they say on their page, you can go to this right now, I'll put the link there. Their website is a single page. It starts off, superintelligence is within reach. Building safe superintelligence is the most important technical problem of our time. We have started the world's first straight shot superintelligence lab with one goal and one product, a safe superintelligence. Then in September 23rd, 2024, we had Sam Altman's post that we talked about, Mike, The Intelligence Age, where he said, here is one narrow way to look at human history. After thousands of years of a compounding scientific discovery and technological progress, we have figured out how to melt sand, add some impurities, arrange it with astonishing precision at extraordinarily tiny scale into computer chips, run energy through it, and end up with systems capable of creating increasingly capable artificial intelligence. This may turn out to be the most consequential fact all of history so far. It is possible that we have superintelligence in a few thousand days. It may take longer, but I'm confident we will get there. Then we had a tweet from Stephen McClear, we'll put this link in, who is a researching agent, researches agent safety at OpenAI. He tweeted on January 3rd, I kind of miss doing AI research back when we didn't know how to create superintelligence. Again, this is someone within OpenAI. Then on January 5th, this is just yesterday, we're recording this on January 6th, Sam publishes Reflections after he did an interview with Bloomberg that actually got him to write this post. Because it was funny in the Bloomberg interview, he's like, I don't have time to write these kind of posts anymore. And then he did it anyway. So I'll read a couple of quick excerpts. We are not, this is again, directly from Sam. We are now confident we know how to build AGI as we have traditionally understood it. We believe that in 2025, we may see the first AI agents, quote, join the workforce and materially change the output of companies. We continue to believe that iteratively putting great tools in the hands of people leads to great, broadly distributed outcomes. We are beginning to turn our aim beyond that to superintelligence in the true sense of the word. It's like a Silicon Valley thing. People like to say in the true sense of the word. We love our current products, but we are here for the glorious future. With superintelligence, we can do anything else. Superintelligent tools could massively accelerate scientific discovery and innovation well beyond what we are capable of doing on our own, and in turn, massively increasing abundance and prosperity. This sounds like science fiction right now and somewhat crazy to even talk about. That's all right. We've been there before and we're okay with being there again. We're pretty confident that in the next few years, everyone will see what we see and that the need to act with great care while maximizing broad benefit and empowerment is so important. Given the possibilities of our work, OpenAI cannot be a normal company. Now, in that article, he talks about the origins of OpenAI and how nobody believed in AGI back in 2014, 15 when they were doing it. So, the final thing I'll call here is the Road to AGI keynote that I did at MACON. We'll put the link to there if you have not watched that. It tells this story of the path to AGI and then what comes next. So it's available for free on YouTube. You can check that out. And then again, I don't want to like scoop ourselves, but we will be launching a new podcast series in Q1 of this year called The Road to AGI and Beyond, where we're going to be doing interviews with leading minds in AI working on the different components of AGI and artificial superintelligence. So more to come on that series. I expect it to probably launch in February. So stay tuned for that. But this is a critical topic for everyone to understand and follow. And then, Mike, if you want to give a quick heads up, I know you had shared on LinkedIn, you did a Google Deep research on like ASI versus AGI. I found that doc pretty helpful.
Yeah. So Google Deep Research, for anyone that doesn't know, is a feature of Google Gemini 1.5 Pro. Basically, you enable it and it will create for you a really in-depth research brief on a bunch of different topics. So I, before this podcast, ran a research brief that's literally created one that's like 2,000 words in a couple minutes. It scanned, I think, 60 plus different web sources. And I wanted to define ASI versus AGI. So there's a lot to this brief, and we can link to the public Google Doc in the show notes so people can read it. But really, it defines ASI as a hypothetical form of AI that surpasses human intelligence in every aspect. So compared to AGI, AGI aims to create AI systems with cognitive abilities comparable to humans across various domains. So, like stuff that's as good as us across a broad base of things. Superintelligence is essentially alien intelligence and how good it is. So, there's a huge order of magnitude change between those two. And Paul, I would note, so that superintelligence book you mentioned is from Nick Bostrom.
There we go.
He published it way back in 2014. He's actually a philosopher. He's been working on this for a long time. And it's really interesting. He was one of the first to be talking about it. Beyond, I would say, the real OG is Ray Kurzweil, who kind
Yeah.
of coined that term singularity, or made it popular, rather, that
Yeah.
point where a machine intelligence surpasses humans.
And those are some of the most influential books. So back in like 2011, when I was researching this stuff and not talking about it because no one in business, it was, again, it was like a taboo topic. Like nobody thought it was real. I read all those books, and I feel like I might need to go dust those off because there was probably like 5 or 6 that I read that were just like very influential in me thinking that the future was going to look very different than the present. And I was like starting to position my own company and myself to sort of, be at the forefront of that and just start trying to figure out the story of AI, which is what led to the creation of Marketing AI Institute and eventually SmarterX.ai. So yeah, it's man, it's a lot. And the funny thing is, like, I started like a lot of the stuff I was thinking about like Sunday night, and I'm like, man, this is just diving right back in. After
Right.
2 weeks of
Right.
my mind kind of like taking a break, I just jumped right back in.
Coming in really hot in the new
Yeah,
year.
definitely.